Hey everyone, this is Brendan Hines, student athlete for Winamac, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. And now, the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Hello. Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast, episode 36. And today we have a dandy of an episode for you today. Lots to go through. We have fantastic interviews with the head coach for our Winamac softball team and Coach Jen Belcher. She will go through what happened last week against a bunch of rival teams, and they played and beat them both. All of them, they beat them. So we'll talk about those games. And we do have the boys golf coach and Coach Jeremy Schell. You talk about his season, and also the senior Brendan Hines. We have him on once again and talk about his season coming up and wrapping up his high school career as a Winamac Warrior. But before we dive deep in all those beautiful conversations, we will talk about any score updates that we might have, and we have a lot of them. Before we talk with Coach Belcher, they did have a game yesterday against North White, and they became victorious, making it 10 games so far this year. Their winning streak is still continuing. They are still ranked in the top 10 in 2A, having a really good season. They pulled away from North White in the 7th for a 4-2 win over the Lady Vikings. The team is now, like I mentioned, 10-1 on the season and will face Culver today at home with the Winamac softball team. They tied at 2 in the top of the 7th. And then the freshman, Grace Roth, she singled, scoring 2 runs. Top of the first, Gren Combs singled, starting out in the first, scoring 1 run. Adriana Haw, she earned the win, finishing out the game. And Brooke Roush, she ended up starting, striking out 9 and walking 0. They had 11 hits on the game. Ended up, again, like I said, continuing their winning streak. And Coach Belcher is jumping on, talking about last week, a little bit about this week and what is to come for the rest of this week. And let's go ahead and talk about Winamac boys baseball. They had a game last night against another rival in the North Judson Blue Jays, a much-needed conference win for the Winamac boys baseball team. They are now 9-4 of the year. They do play tonight again against North Judson. This time it is there. Cody Wheeler last night, he went the distance for Winamac, striking out 10, walking 2. He allowed 2 earned runs. The offense was led by Will Malka. I'll tell you what, he had a fantastic big-time double in the 4th inning, bringing home another run and just sealing the deal there for Winamac. Hutch Martin, he had a hit and 2 RBIs. Brady Mathias and Peyton Attinger, they were at it, and they had 1 hit apiece. So again, like I mentioned, they are at it again tonight against another conference opponent in North Judson. So good luck to Coach Hendricks and the Winamac boys baseball team. Golf, let's talk about them real quick. Again, like I mentioned, Coach Jeremy Schell, he is with us today to talk about the season, but they did have a match last night, competition conference opponents against North Miami and North Judson. They will see them later on the year in conference. Closely contested match, but North Judson and North Miami emerged victorious with a score of 188 North Judson, they were right behind them with 194. And Winamac was third place in the score with a score of 197. Now, of course, we did not have senior Talon Gardner. He will return hopefully before conference time. But Brendan Hines, Logan Friedel both led the team, shooting 46. Will Byros, he scored a 51. Lewis Rugg, a 54. And Justin Potoff had a 58. Looking ahead, an exciting opportunity to bounce back. Thursday night, they take on the Knox Redskins. So that is Winamac boys golf. Let's go ahead and talk about some track. Lady Warriors, they did take on and host the Logansport Berries. They did fall to them 76-56. First place finishers for that group was the 4x8. Had Candace Croft, Cadence Hoover, Claire Goodman, and the freshman, Macy Earp. They ended up first in that group. We did have Cadence Hoover also captured first in the 3,200-meter relay to 2 mile, while Emily Weaver threw 27.4 to win the shot put. Shout out to Weaver there, senior. And in pole vault, Allie Campbell doing work. She tied first by clearing 6 foot 6 inches there for the Winamac girls track team. And then they battled in the Winamac Invitational a couple weekends ago. They ended up getting second. First place finishers with Cadence Hoover in the 2 mile with a time of 13:27, earning 10 points. Claire Goodman, she finished second in that, earning 10. The 4x1 second finishers with Sadie Popejoy, Maddie Goodman, Ava Malco, and Emily Weaver. Let's move on to the Winamac boys track team. They, in that same invitational a couple weekends ago, they finished second to Bremen. First place finisher, shot put, Charlie Dysinger. He was doing work, and he's also got first in discus. Those were only first place finishers out of all those, but we did finish second at 6 teams. Pioneer was third. Hebron was fourth. North Newton were fifth. North White was sixth. And again, like I mentioned, Bremen finished first once again in that Winamac Invitational. And then the Winamac men's track team finished second, hosting Logansport. They ended up losing to them 89-43. Ethan Burgess finished first in the 400. Camden Long finished first in the 300 hurdles. Nathan Przowski finished first in the 2 mile. Ethan Burgess finished first in the 200. Chuck finished first in the discus and in the shot put. And then Hayden Taylor finished first in the pole vault. And then we'll talk about their competition against John Glenn. They came up short, losing to them 66-57. Camden Long finished first in the 110 hurdles. Nathan Przowski finished first in the mile. He finished first in the 800 and first in the 2 mile. Ethan Burgess added with his speed. He finished first in the 400. And Dylan Guilford, he finished first in the 300 hurdles. Dysinger, he finished first in the shot put. And then the 4x4 relay, we finished first in that category. Guilford, Long, Camden Long, Caleb Pace, and Ethan Burgess helped become victorious in there. Of course, we have a lot of activities going on with our Winamac Athletics, but we do have a couple of interviews today. We'll start bringing them on. Up next, we have the head coach for the Winamac Lady Warrior softball team and Coach Jen Belcher. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Corinne Combs, student athlete for Winamac High School, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super thrilled, like always, to bring on our head coach for our Winamac Lady Warrior softball team, Coach Jen Belcher. Coach, how's it going?
Justin, how are you? I'm doing good. Thank you.
I am fantastic. You slid in here during your prep time. No big deal during school. Thanks a lot for jumping on with me today. so we can hear your beautiful voice.
I don't know about how beautiful it is, but I'll try to answer your question.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, you know what? I'm going to be straightforward with you, Coach, because that's why I get paid the big bucks, right? To be on this podcast and ask the hard questions. But I gotta address the elephant. Your team right now is there. It's definitely a fact. Feeling good. After last week, 6-game winning streak, and which is, again, it's not always about this, but it's pretty freaking cool. Your team right now in 2A, they are ranked in the top 10, which is always fantastic. Coach, your team is rolling. I do have to ask you this, though. What makes this team – I mean, you've had many teams before that are really, really good and that's been ranked. But what makes this team special, Coach?
Well, Justin, first of all, I'll bring up, you mentioned the ranking part. We don't talk about that. We haven't even mentioned that with our kids because in our minds right now, that's not important.
Yes.
The ranks are for fans. The ranking system is for fans.
Yeah.
For coaches and players. So
for me, right?
That's right. So
if you want to tell me to just shut up, you can do that.
Oh no, it's all good. It's a fact, yes, and it's out there, but it doesn't change what we have to do on the field each and every day. So so that's our approach to that. But yes, we are playing really good softball right now. What makes this team special? I would say we have a number of things going well for us. Our two pitchers are doing their job in the circle, Brooke Roush and Adriana Hall. They are getting the job done. They are not allowing many runs to be produced by the other team at all. So they're doing a great job there. Defense has stepped up. We're making some good plays defensively. The thing that I think is different about this team is within the last week, Justin, it seems as if we've bought into the approach of we don't have to rely on just one person. We're not going to wait for somebody to hit a home run. We're gonna hit hard ground balls, line drives, and hand the bat off to the next person in the order. So they've done a great job of doing that, and it's worked well for us.
See, that's why you're so good at what you do, Belcher, because I was prepping out the questions. I'm like, I'm going to hit her hard right off the bat with a tough question and try to throw a curveball at you, and you spanked it out.
I do what I can.
Coach, well, you did mention home runs, which is fascinating because me doing some research and stuff, I saw that, I mean, one game you guys had 3 home runs from 3 different players in one game, and that caught my attention. I'm like, heck, I feel like they're hitting a lot of home runs. I wonder how is that often? So I looked last year out of 25 games, you guys had 6 home runs. This year, out of 10, you're at 9. And I'm like, what in the heck is Belcher feeding them some Space Jam juice before the game? I don't know. Are you?
Hey, if there was something that we could give them, we would. But that doesn't exist as far as we know. No, really, Justin, it's interesting when you make that comparison because we do not talk about home runs. We don't try to hit home runs, and they are better hitters when we're not trying to hit home runs. If they do things well, they're gonna get a home run every now and again. But if we start swinging for the fences, then that's when things go bad.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're mentioning the Rensselaer game when we had 3 home runs in one game. A lot of times it depends on the conditions. Just being honest here, that was a windy night. The wind was blowing out, and so some balls that maybe would have normally stayed in the park got some extra push and put them on the field, which we love. And I don't want to take any credit away from anybody, but so you never know. You never know whether the wind's blowing out, the wind's blowing in. We've had the opposite happen too, and some night when the wind's blowing in and man, somebody really got a hold of one and it just ends up being a fly ball that's caught in the outfield. So we like to keep the ball low. We like to hit line drives. And if a home run happens, great. We'll celebrate it and we'll chalk it up.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting because we have 6 girls on our team that have at least 1 home run.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And they all have the ability. You know,
Mhm.
they can, if they get a hold of one, they time it up right and conditions are good, they all have the ability. So that's nice when you have people all through your order that can do that.
All right, Coach. Well, let's talk about last week. It was a busy one. You had games against Pioneer, West Central, and Knox. In all three games, you scored at least 10 points or more. Just really hitting the ball really well. Defensively, you're doing good. Can you address those three games, Coach? Heck of a week.
Yeah, this was a big week for us, especially starting the week on Monday with Pioneer. You know, Pioneer is a conference opponent for us. Pioneer has historically done well against us. You know, they've just kind of been that monkey on our back at times where we know we have the ability to go out and get a win, and then for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened a lot for us over recent years and past years with Pioneer. So to step on the field Monday night and go out and get that win against Pioneer 11-1 with a 10-run rule win, you know, that was a great start to our week. You know, Justin, I kind of say that last week, that was a week when we had 3 games against 3 of what I would consider our rival opponents, you know, because Pioneer, West Central, and Knox, you know, they're like 20, 25 minutes away. And so our kids know each other, you know, a lot of them, their paths have crossed in different things, whether it's, you know, softball and sports or whether it's, you know, with other activities that they do. And, you know, with social media nowadays, it's really easy to know kids from other schools well. And so I really thought those were three big rivals for us. And to come away with the 3 wins against those teams. By far, though, West Central is our biggest rival, as you know. And so it was nice. West Central came over to our place, and it was nice that we took care of business that night. We played really well Thursday night against West Central and got the win 11-1. And then finished up on Friday, taking a trip to Knox. We're on the minibuses on our way to Knox, and we're thinking everything's going to go great. And then it started raining on our way over. We sat in the parking lot in the minibuses for quite a while until the rain stopped. And then that game actually didn't get started on time. There was about an hour rain delay, maybe a little bit longer. And we questioned whether we could even play or not. But at Knox, you know, they worked to get the field safe for us. And it really turned out pretty well. And again, our team played really well against Knox. Our pitching, I thought, was outstanding Friday night, holding Knox scoreless. So 3 big wins for us for sure.
That is wild that you had that. I didn't know there was a rain delay and you had to wait in the bus for an hour. But then again, that adds on to this being an awesome thing. And again, this might be a thing that a crazy fan thinks about, which is myself. But let me ask this. I don't know if this happened before. It might be a normal thing. I don't know. Did I see it correctly that each one of your players against Knox had at least 1 hit? Is that correct?
That's right.
Did I
That's
rub
right.
my eyes too hard, or is that has that
You're
ever happened
exactly right.
before?
It happens occasionally, yeah.
That's a pretty good freaking stat, though, too.
That is really nice, yeah. And right after that game was over, that was something that Coach Combs pointed out to me right away. You know, we drove back to Winamac, and we're going over things and talking together about the evening. And he said, "Hey, Coach, did you realize that everybody in the order got a hit tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't really think about it." But that just shows, Justin, you know, when, again, going back to that philosophy where, you know, you do your job at the plate, you hit the ball hard and hand the bat off to the next person. We're not just relying on 1 or 2 kids in our order to do all the work. So, you know, that came to fruition Friday night. I think we had like 14 hits, so
Yeah.
we'll have a good night for us.
Yeah, and I just see you're having a lot of girls coming in, like you said, lots of weapons on your team. I know one of them that catches my eye who's been hitting it pretty well. The freshman, Grace Roth, she's been doing pretty well.
She has.
It's a great thing you have all those weapons, Coach.
Yeah, Grace has really stepped up for us. She wasn't starting for us at the beginning of the season. You know, like you said, a freshman comes along and we keep working with them, and she keeps working hard. And it just seemed like, you know, she had to continue to work hard and fine tune some things. And then Justin, really, as soon as we gave her an opportunity to start a game and get in that lineup, I think she's embraced that. And she's like, okay, you know, here I am. Let's see what we can do. Grace has really done a really nice job for us, both offensively and defensively, but in my mind, particularly with the bat.
Yeah, and again, I know she was very into it in volleyball as well, big part of that team. Now her stepping up for your softball team is pretty awesome. As a freshman to see. Well, Coach, you have a busy week this week as well. We're communicating right now on a Monday, so you have North White tonight, then a conference opponent in Culver. You travel, and then you take a breather for once on a Wednesday. and then Thursday and Friday, you're at it again against a really good Logan Sport team. And then North Newton. Coach, what do you prepare for these 4 teams coming? Oh, yeah, the next Monday, you have another conference opponent against North Justin. It doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't. This is just kind of the way we live in the spring, and really, Justin, I think that our approach has to be one game at a time. If we worry a lot about the week or what's ahead, then we kind of lose our focus. So it's a one game at a time mentality. So you're right. Tonight we have North White. So that's all that I want our team and our players to be focused on. But yes, we do have a busy schedule. Culver is the conference opponent this week. So we definitely want to take care of business against Culver. And then at the end of the week, the thing I would say about Logan Sport and North Newton is we're going to see 2 quality ball clubs in those teams.
Yes.
So that'd be good.
Good pitchers too, right? So
yes.
I know Logan Sport, they always have some good ones, but don't they? North Newton don't they have a girl named Sydney Rainsford?
Sydney Rainsford, you are exactly right. Yeah, she's a senior, and we saw her last year. We played against North Newton in the Delphi tournament. And she's an excellent pitcher. She has a lot of velocity. She has some movement. And, it's going to be a good challenge for us against North Newton. But, Justin, those games against Logan Sport and North Newton, quality opponents. But the nice thing is, what a great way to prepare us for quality teams that we'll see, later on in the season, maybe somewhere in the tournament or something like that. So that's what we're going to try to do with those 2, see some quality teams and see what we can do against them.
And that's what you enjoy, right? I know you mentioned it earlier when I had you on. You love going up against teams like that really, push your team to another level or can.
Sure.
And those 2 definitely do that.
Yeah, they definitely do. I think you need to have some opponents like that on your schedule to test your kids and to see how they produce and to keep getting better. So definitely those 2, that's what we're looking for with Logan Sport and North Newton.
Well, Coach, we should keep going and going. But you have to of course, get back to your beautiful job and teaching teaching some math, which I don't like to think about. But
no, Justin, you're supposed to tell everybody out there, especially my students, how much you use math on your job.
Oh, yeah. I just bring out my good old calculator, and I did that with Coach Hugler too. I'm like, just bring out a calculator.
I'm sure that's all good. We use those here too, so it's all good.
Well, Belcher, I can't thank you enough for jumping on. You have any last words for us?
I would just say, hey, if you have an opportunity to come watch some Lady Warriors softball, our team's playing really well right now. And I think, I would say this, Justin, when I can watch the game and at some point in the game, I go, all right, this is pretty cool. That play was pretty cool. I'm so glad we were able to do this or do that. When they're making me happy, when I'm watching them play, I know they'll make the fans happy. So come on out and catch a game.
Yes, absolutely. Again, home games this week, Tuesday in Culver and Friday against North Newton. 2 home games this week. Well, again, Coach, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for jumping on. And that was Coach Jen Belcher, the head coach for our Winamac Warrior Ladies softball team. We'll be right back after a brief word. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
It's time for the Warrior Coach of the Day. Let's return to the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super thrilled to welcome back the head coach for our Winamac boys golf team, Coach Jeremy Shell. Shell, how's it going, my man? We're back.
How you doing?
Doing great. Now, we've had you on, of course, very first episode. We started you off with Haschel, the very first one, and now we are ending it with you when it comes to the spotlight of the sports and stuff like that. Maybe we'll have you on the very last episode. We'll see. I think that's too much.
We'll see how the ratings go.
Yeah, we'll see how the ratings go. But hey, you started your season a couple weeks ago, Coach, and let's just go ahead and talk about what has happened. I know you had an invite at Twin Lakes. You had a couple of matches so far with a couple invites in, matches in. How's your season been going, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, so far, when you look at our scores, they're not great, but that's for lack of depth, really. I mean, we got some kids that can play up front, but we're cycling some kids in that are pretty inexperienced. So right now we're just trying to see, who wants it, who's going to work for it, and then who can settle into a round and post a number that'll help. So yeah, right now it's just kind of feeling out what we have to work with. Obviously, we're down a couple kids that would be contributors until the back half of the season. So really, it's kind of forcing us to play some kids that probably wouldn't have gotten a chance otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good so far. I mean, last night we finished 6th out of 7 teams, but we saw some good stuff out of our bottom 3. So we're making progress. So we're seeing some good stuff.
Love it. And that's kind of like you mentioned on the girls episode with girls golf. All this is pretty much just preparation. Practice, really, for a conference and sectionals, what you're shooting for. I know we are recording right now on a Friday. You have one tomorrow at the Logan Sport Invite. That's a big one. I'm sure there's lots of schools there participating in that. And then Monday, you have another one, seeing North Judson in a new conference opponent, right, in North Miami. And then, Coach, you're just like that. We have to record today, because it's just your schedules is jam-packed. I think you do have a little break in there after next Monday, I do believe, but just jam-packed schedule, Coach. I love it.
Yeah. This week's usually pretty frantic for us. I mean, we've got 5 events in a week's time, so we get after it this week, and then it kind of lightens up a little bit.
It looks like your conference is May 24th, towards the end of the season, and then sectional at Logan Sport. June 6th. So I'm sure it's like invitationals like tomorrow is a good one, because that's at, is that correct?
Yeah. Anytime we could get on Rochester and Dykeman, that's kind of our goal is to play those courses. So this year we actually mixed in the Tippy Valley Invitational, which is on a Friday night. So that should be interesting. And we're going to go back to back. We're going to go Friday night at Rochester, and then Saturday morning at the Pioneer Invite. So that'll be interesting to see how these guys respond. But again, the more reps you can get on these courses, the better.
Yes.
So that was really the 1 week.
I love it. Let's dive deep, Coach, into the history of Winamac golf. Just doing my research and stuff like that. I know there's been a lot of good athletes coming in, good golfers coming into Winamac. I know the big thing, Coach, is you've been a part of a couple of recent add-ons to the history of Winamac, back-to-back defending champions for conference, which is an awesome thing. I know we've had 3 sectional titles and just a whole bunch of conference championships, 20, I think, to be exact. What can you add on just the overall history of Winamac golf?
I don't really know the history very well. I know that on the boys' side, there's been a lot of talented golfers that have passed through the program. The Rough Boys, anybody with the last name Pugh can play golf. Adam Grunick is another one that was just a phenomenal golfer. So yeah, there's definitely some quality golf that's been played in the history of Winamac, and we're looking to kind of get back to that. One of our main goals is to try to get some type of youth program started. I know we kind of talked before we started here. We are looking at starting some kind of middle school program, hopefully next year, because this is a sport that is just not accessible for a kid to pick up a club and play like baseball or basketball. So it's really hard when you get freshmen that come in that have never even touched a golf club, and to expect them to pick this game up. I mean, they have to know the rules. They have to be able to play. And if you've never played golf, it is extremely difficult. It is a very hard game. The benefit to coaching golf is it is a team game, but it's also an individual game. I don't have to structure practices based off of anything team related. So it's individually structured around kids to just try to get them better.
Yeah. And, it's just wild, just the overall history of it. I know, it's you see all these names and stuff, and like, well, that's weird because each kid, of course, they grow up and then they get better when they play, like when they get older.
Yeah,
I don't think Grunig was. I mean, he was good when he was in high school, but the dude he's gotten so much better.
Freak now. I mean, he's phenomenal golf.
I feel like my cousins have gotten so much better. I mean, you get older.
You can dedicate more time to it.
Yeah.
Parents don't want to fork over a ton of money for good equipment. So you earn your own money, buy your stuff. A good example of that actually is Jace Bennell. I saw him at the golf course the other night. I was talking to him. He actually,
is he good?
He's a lot better. I mean, I would love to have him back this year. He would definitely contribute to the team, but
yeah.
Brendan's definitely a good golfer. We got to work on his confidence more than anything.
Yeah.
He's right. I mean, the mental side of this game is so, you can't have any doubt. If you let any doubt creep in on any kind of shot you're hitting around a golf course, you're probably going to hit it poorly. And then it's easy to get in your head and start compounding bad shots. But yeah, if you can get kids started, even when they're 6th or 7th grade, it just makes a huge difference by the time they're a freshman. They're comfortable playing in that setting. We could have started him out when he was 6th or 7th grade. I mean, he would be pushing for that 6th record.
You mentioned that with Bianca too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. And she didn't start until
she was a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I love it. I love, that's really great news. I knew it was in the works for a while now. I think like all year this year and last summer that you were trying to get something developing there. And it sounds like it's heading towards the right direction, which is fantastic for you in this program in Winamac Golf. I love it. All right, let's talk about your current team, Coach. I understand, again, last year you guys won for the second year in a row your conference championship. We've added some new conference opponents, which I think you will see some before conference approaches. But let's just talk about your overall team and your full roster for this year.
Yeah, so a lot of new faces. I mean, we lost Noah Gardner and Cooper Fulmer, who were both starters. Both could play some pretty decent golf for us. So coming into the season, we were pretty excited because we knew who our core 4 golfers were going to be, and then we were just going to have to find who that 5th kid was that was going to step up. And then obviously losing talent hurt. Jaden Beckner was one that was on our radar as a freshman coming in. He's got a ton of potential. We're down him until the back half of the season as well. But yeah, a lot of freshmen. And then Will Virus has stepped up. He's been working pretty hard, so he's going to be a solid contributor. Obviously, Brendan, Logan Friedel, and then Brendan mentioned Parker Zier, brand new to golf, but this kid he grinds. I mean, he gets after it. So it's good to have a kid like that, and then you have these freshmen coming in, so they can see how hard an upperclassman is working to try to get better in him. So I can go through the list if you want of everyone we have. We've got 14 total golfers. We'll start from the top. We got Brendan Hines, Logan Friedel, Will Virus, Parker Zider, Rylan Craig. You mentioned Justin Potoff. He's been on the team. This is his 3rd season. He was kind of one of those kids that I think liked to go out there and just kind of hang out. It was a social thing.
No.
Shocker, I know. Him and Lewis Rudd both. But I think once they kind of got the idea that, hey, I have a chance to actually contribute, they're starting to take it a little more serious and putting some time in. So Justin and Lewis are 2 that, I look forward to seeing them kind of develop and get better. And then the rest are freshmen from there. Talent, obviously, he's would be one of our starters once he gets back. But our freshmen are going to be Braylon Becker, Caleb Kistler, Josh Sanders, Jaden Beckner, Bentley Patton, and then Angel De La Cruz. All great kids, with exceptions of Jaden Beckner. He's definitely got some golf experience. The rest of them are pretty new. But they show up to practice, they work hard, so they definitely are trying to get better at the game.
That's a lot of golfers.
We got a lot of kids. We got a lot of kids, so
That's a good problem to have.
it really is. I mean, it's been fun, and we kind of did the same thing. I know with the girls, we talked about Sophia is in middle school. We don't have a middle school program, so we worked her in as the golf manager, and then trying to get her into some events and play. We're doing the same thing with the boys with Isaiah Wamsley.
Yeah.
If you know Isaiah, he's a pretty athletic kid.
Yeah.
And he's working pretty hard, and we're excited about him. I mean, here's an opportunity for, what we just talked about. Here's a athletic kid in 7th grade that we're getting started now. And you can already see, like, he's taken to the game and working pretty hard. So
he's a coachable kid, too.
He's very coachable.
Yeah.
So I know Brendan's dad probably doesn't want to hear this, but I think Caden is leaning towards golf over baseball. And same thing, just good kid, hard worker, athlete. So it's, that's what we need to get the program kind of over that next hurdle, is getting those kids started now. And then when they get to high school, they're ready to play.
I love it. Again, just like I mentioned, just having those kids start early, it's just a fantastic thing. Really helps a lot for the future. Off-season activities, let's talk about your fundraisers and any camps that you might have. I know you host a pretty awesome golf outing that you've done. Let's just talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so we kind of took the baton from the athletic boosters, and me and Leverins sat down and we decided, golf doesn't need all of that money. So what we do is we take half, and then the other half goes to the athletic program. And I'm not sure what he does with it. Maybe he goes on vacation or something.
Maybe
for working all year so hard. But so right now, tentatively, it's scheduled for Moss Creek again on July 12th. We had a great turnout last year. It was our first year doing it. It was the first time I've ever ran it. I say I've ran it, but my wife did all of the work. I just showed up and played golf.
She's downstairs. I mean, she's not here.
But probably the most organized person I know. She pulled it all together. Me and Leverins showed up like the heroes. Like, we did all the work and we did nothing. But it's a great event. We had a lot of businesses kick in, and I would say that's the one blessing about being in a small community like this. I mean, from day one when I took over coaching, I mean, people were just giving us money when we needed it, and I mean, it was just great. The support we had was just crazy. So it's the same thing with the golf outing. It's just great support from the community.
I love it. And that is July 12th. So I'm writing that down because I am part of that defending champion group.
Let's be real.
I am. I helped out. They used my ball like 3 times.
You had 2 horses on your team. That's who won.
They used my ball, Shell. That means I helped.
Yeah, they took your ball out of your bag and they used it to hit it themselves.
Okay. All right. That was mean. Moving on. Let's talk about any goals that you might have for this year, Coach. I know we know some big ones that you will have that I'm sure all your players have just a set goal of a couple of things, but what do you think your goals are heading into this year?
Yeah, I mean, conference, obviously winning it 2 years in a row, getting that third would be fantastic. And the kids want it. That's the main thing. And then I would love to make it out of sectionals. It's going to be tight. It would be Twin Lakes. Twin Lakes is always just really good. And Logan Sports solid this year too. Their number one he's legit. Like he's just phenomenal golfer. So those two will be hard to keep pace with. You have to be top 3. So to make it out of sectionals as a team, you got to make it in the top 3. And then as an individual, they take the top 3 scores that are not on an advancing team.
Okay.
Brendan has been right there back-to-back years. I mean, he's missed it by 1 or 2 shots. I mean, he's right there. So I feel good about him getting out if we can't get out as a team. But I mean, I like our chances. I mean, the boys usually play in pressure situations like that. They play well. We play well at conference every year. And, our first year, it was kind of a bum fight. We rolled in and there weren't a lot of strong teams in our conference. And I had a feeling I think we could win this, guys. And I told them the numbers we needed to shoot and they got it done. And then last year, going into it, I felt very confident. And we kind of slipped up on the back nine. Brendan made the turn. He was coming off of being sick and looked like a zombie.
Oh boy.
And we kind of backed up. We didn't play the second nine very well and won by 3 shots. So it's never given. I mean, we're definitely going to have to go out there and put together a good 18 holes. And Triton and Pioneer specifically they're good. I mean, they've improved as well, and they're right there with us. And North Miami's usually got a solid team, so it should be a lot more competitive this year, which is fun. We're gonna have to go out there and do our job, but I like our chances. I mean, we're confident. We put in the work. If we go out there and we do what we know we can do, we'll be all right.
I love it, and it's still. I know it's maybe a month or so away, but it's going to come by quick.
It will, yeah. It'll pass fast, and we kind of do this every year. And I don't know, it's not really by design, but we kind of ease into the season. And I really don't want to start playing our best golf out of the gates, because this is it's a game that's hard to maintain playing well. So it's like April is a tune-up for us, and then once May hits, we kind of lock in, and that's when we start seeing the numbers that really give us the confidence to beat these teams at conference. So.
Right. Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough, and wish you the best of luck tomorrow and throughout your whole year. Of course, we'll have you on to hear your beautiful voice talking about your team later on. I do like this. We should be the Winamac Athletic studio.
We can make that happen.
I like coming in here. It's nice. Well, hey, Coach, can't thank you enough. Do you have any last words or comments?
No, I mean, maybe in the future, maybe not beat up my golfers so much when I give them an interview. I mean,
that was fun, though.
Kid already said it.
He was shaking.
Mental struggles over here. You're just tearing them down off. Now I'm gonna have to spend the next couple weeks trying to build them back up. So,
no, he can do that, right?
No, again, I do. I appreciate what you do. I mean, this is so cool for these kids. I mean, to say Winamac has a podcast for their athletes is just a neat thing. So thank you for what you do. This is cool.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Thanks for everything you do, Shell, and thanks for Hines. And again, we will have Coach Jeremy Shell on later on the season just to talk about more of his boys throughout the year. And that was, again, Coach Jeremy Shell for the Winamac boys golf team. We will be right back. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
It's time for the Warrior Athlete of the Day. Let's return to the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super excited once again to welcome back the senior, a member of the Winamac boys golf team, Brendan Hines. How's it going, Hines? How you doing?
It's good. How are you?
I'm good. But hey, you're a senior now. You're getting old, getting down to the days, counting down to no more high school time for Hines. Is that pretty wild moment, or is it you getting excited, or how's that feeling?
Yeah, kind of both. It just went by really quick.
It has. All right, let's we again, like I mentioned, I've had you on with basketball, so some of these questions will be similar. But if they skip that episode, which I don't blame them, they will kind of catch up here. What sports and activities are you involved in, Hines?
I do basketball and golf.
Now, with that, let's dive deep into that. So, were you involved in any other sports when you were younger? I think we actually talked about
I ran cross country when I was younger. I played baseball when I was younger.
And your favorite sport, I think you answered very poorly last time. You said that, oh, well, during the winter time, I love basketball. But in the spring, no, can't answer that. I'm putting my foot down, Hines. You got to pick one. Which one is it?
Golf.
Because it's probably because it's spring. Springtime. Smart answer. Shell's sitting right next to us. So very clever answer, Hines. So let's move on to your off-season activities. I know with golf, I feel like it can be stretched out. You can play a lot of golf in the spring after the season, into the summertime, and then into the fall. but what keeps you active in the off-season months when it comes to golf?
Yeah, I don't know. I just go to the course a lot. I did have basketball as well last year, but this summer I won't, obviously.
Do you do anything like that in the winter time? I know you're basketball, but do you have one of those simulators?
I just got one recently.
Ah,
Kind of too late for the last one.
too late. But younger Hines, you got a couple younger brothers, right? So, more Hines to come.
Yeah.
So it's really for them,
Yeah.
right? So they can do that. Brendan's not good enough. We got to do something to get these guys better. So they got them that, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome. All right, let's shift our focus, Hines, to your team, your current team this year. Like I mentioned, your senior last year, you had a couple guys, senior-wise. I know Gardner, Fulmer was part of that as well. But who do you really think, as your view as a senior, putting in the work this season so far, and even in off season, as your view as a senior?
Well, one person that works really hard, this is his first year golfing, is Parker Zinder. I mean, he wants to be really good, and he works probably one of the hardest workers on the team so far.
Lots of guys stepping up. And then you had 3 out of the top 5 last year, but we're sharing some athletes like with Friedel and stuff, and some other guys stepping up. I see Potoff in there a few times.
Yeah, and then we have Rylan Craig, and we'll get Talon back before conference. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love it. All right, let's go. Let's knock these questions out. These are about you. I know last time I had other questions. Now these are focused on you. I felt bad. So got to get to know Hines a little bit, I guess. So number 1, if you could have dinner with any pro athlete, Hines, who would it be? These are good ones. I looked these bad boys up.
That's a tough one.
Jeremy Shell is not a pro athlete, so he can't pick him. Pretty close, though. Michael Jordan. Okay. McDonald's or? No?
I don't know.
Oh, he golfs, too. He's pretty
Yeah.
good at golf. I don't even know if he is good. Is he good? Is he real good? Okay. All right. What is your biggest weakness in golf? Biggest weakness. What do you suck at? Are you a good putter? You don't really look like a good putter. Are you a putter?
I'm a fine putter.
Fine putter. Okay.
I don't know. Like, actual game-wise, it's not like one thing I can really pin down, but maybe just my mental game overall, or like recovering.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Smart answer. Smooth. Favorite? All these are golf related. I didn't mean to do that. But favorite golf course you've ever played at? It doesn't have to be in high school. Maybe if you went to Hawaii.
I went to San Diego and I played one there. It's called Coronado.
Nice.
Well, best one around here, my favorite one around here is Warren at Notre Dame. We played there during the season.
Very nice. Very cool. So what makes those
They're just
favorite?
Very nice and great condition. Very fun to play.
I went to the John Deere Classic one in Illinois not too long ago. That was my most memorable moment playing golf as a Winamac Warrior. What do you got?
Winning conference back-to-back years. Past.
That will do it.
Yep.
That will do it. And is that I'm sure part of your senior year request, right?
Yes.
Your goal. We'll go through goals here in a second. But all right, last time I asked you about any unknown facts, and you threw out the tumor in the finger, which was very interesting. But now let's ask do you have any secret talents, Hines? Does your finger fall off, or is there any? That's not really a talent, I guess. Do you have any secret talents?
I really don't.
Oh boy,
I have nothing.
Why am I not surprised? He's got no talent.
I've got nothing.
Oh, that was a hard one though. If you don't have any, you don't have any. That's good. You can't can you do a funny whistle or tongue touch your nose? Nothing. Just a normal dude. Open book.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. All right. Let's move on to your season goals. Do you have any season goals as a team and personal goals you might have for this year, Hans?
Team goal is definitely to win conference again. And I think a high team goal is to make it out of sectional into regional. But if we don't, I would like to move on personally if we can't do it as a team.
I love it. What is your personal best? Your PR? Personal.
I think it's a 79.
That's in 18.
Yeah.
You just shot a 91.
Mm.
That's Twin Lakes one, right?
Yeah.
I did my research.
Thank you.
And what's your PR in that? And
9 holes, 35.
35. That is pretty close to the record. I feel like. I think Pugh and Ruff both had 31. Josh, and I think the 18 is 67. Can you shoot for 67?
I can try.
I doubt it. I'm joking. All right. Like I mentioned, you are old now. You're a senior. What are your future plans heading into next year, Hines?
I'm going to IU to study finance.
It's pretty darn school right there. That's nice. Finance, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're actually kind of smart?
Yes.
All right, well, Hines, we did it. Hopefully, this is the last time I have you on. No more Hines. Come on, I might have your brother on. I'll be a little bit happier when he jumps on versus you.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
All right, well, hey, I can't thank you enough, Hines. You had a great senior year in basketball. Loved watching you, and now golf. Hopefully, you finish strong and get that conference title and move on to regionals. Do you have any last words or comments? This is it. Mic in your hand.
Nope.
No, nothing.
Got nothing.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Hines. That was Brendan Hines, the senior captain for the Winamac boys golf team. Okay, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. We would like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring today's show and being part of the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe. Go Warriors!